Welcome back, everyone. Christine here from Unique Sapphire. I've missed you. And no, I did not go on a vacation. I kind of sort of went on a vacation away from my bed. I ended up with bronchitis and been sleeping on the sofa. Not fun. Be well, my friends. Take care of yourself. You're worth it. So what have I been up to while I was sick? Been working on my pillow project. And in the last few videos, and one of the last posts I did on Facebook and Instagram was about swatching that Tunisian crochet. And I'll put a thing here of the picture, and you can see how the swatch was pulling. So that gave me a better idea of how my colors were going to play out. So let's talk about that a little bit. A lot of people don't like to swatch, and swatching does not only offer you how many stitches per rows and per inch for your width and height, but it also tells a lot if you're into indie dyed yarn or hand painted yarn or variegated yarn, because they will pull, and at times, depending on your project. So if you have already set your mind to a certain specific project like I did, I want to do a pillow cover, and I needed to figure out how I wanted those colors to move because I did not like how they were pulling in that swatch. So in that swatch I had 30 stitches in width. I can't remember how high I went, but it kept doing and repeating the same way. So that told me that if I doubled it, I most likely would have drawn out the pulling a little bit more. So I did that and a little more, and in a little bit I'll go to show you what I did and how it came out, and it is awesome and I'm so happy with it. But you can do this as well. Now I did rip out that swatch because I wanted to use and utilize every last bit of yarn that I had, and I'm glad I did. I only have a little tiny bit left. So let's take a look at the pillow, the one side. There it is, the Tunisian crochet. Looks quite a bit different than the swatch, doesn't it? And that's why I said by utilizing and making and taking the time to swatch things will help you, especially if you're utilizing a hand-painted or hand-dyed yarn. And I'm pretty thrilled with how the colors started to move. There was only one section of blue that kind of pulled a little bit hard, but I'm okay with that. I think it turned out great. Now with the Tunisian crochet, the rib stitch that I used here, all the patterns that I saw out there for the crochet stitch itself said even amount of stitches. Well, I wasn't thrilled with the one side, if you remember correctly. I decided to use an odd number of stitches, and I'm really thrilled with this side now. It's much firmer and less weak as it once was. So did I make 2 of these for this pillow? No, because I wanted to make a point. Even though I was sick, I was thinking, how can I make it a point to my viewers, to you, and answer the questions, because I always get questions on how the colors are going to move, and it depends on the project and its width or what you're doing with it, and also it depends on the stitch. So Tunisian crochet is very dense fabric. So my recommendation, if you don't want it to curl, is to move up a hook size or 2, depending on the size of your yarn. That will help. Also, blocking helps a lot. And of course, I blocked this piece quite a bit. So the opposite side, I got out my knitting needles and just did stockinette stitch. It also does like to curl because I didn't do a selvage edge or anything. It is the same size once I pull on it, because of course it likes to shrink up and also curl up on the sides. But look at how that colors undulated, almost like my vision when I was doing this. Yes, this is Lakeside in the fall, and I'm sorry guys, it's sold out. But as I was imagining when dyeing and creating that colorway, reflections on the water. And this just goes to show with how many stitches I have here and how the colors are moving, it just reminds me of reflections on the water. And I'm so thrilled that it worked out that way. So one side of my pillow will be knit, one side of my pillow will be crocheted in Tunisian crochet. And I'll get it together here and I'll probably do maybe a little montage video for you on how I'm putting it together. But this just goes to show you that stitched patterns, how many stitches you're utilizing if you're doing a scarf or if you're doing something like a pillow. If you're going to knit in the round or crochet in the round, the colors are going to change constantly. So that's why swatching also helps. So that way here, as you're going along in your creations, you know that at X amount of stitches, you're going to hit that color again. So if you want that color not to repeat on all of those X amount of stitches, and that's why I swatched the Tunisian crochet in the stitch pattern. And I know a lot of pattern makers and designers out there tell you if it's in, single crochet, double crochet, or just stockinette stitch. But if you're utilizing a hand-painted or hand-dyed yarn or something variegated, you'll want to swatch it in the stitch pattern. It does make a difference. So that way here you're better understanding how those colors are going to play out. All right, guys, I'm so glad you went through that with me. I hope you got a little better understanding on, why swatching does make a difference, especially if you're going to use a hand-painted or hand-dyed yarn. And there's lots of them out there, so don't limit yourself. And don't be afraid to experiment. Yes, it does take a little bit of time, but by swatching in the stitch pattern, if you're doing a knit or a crochet, will make a big difference in understanding how many stitches and how that color repeats. So that way here you can make something cool and awesome, because not everyone's project with that colorway is going to turn out the same, if you understand what I'm saying, because everyone's gauge is different. Everyone's project might be different with the same kind of yarn. And just goes to show you, between the Tunisian crochet and my just plain stockinette, on the different looks that you can get with only one yarn. All right, guys, I'm so thrilled to be back. I'm glad to be back. I'm not sick. Well, I'm still a little snuffly. I do apologize for that. So we'll be back in the saddle and regular streaming next week. So I hope everyone has a great creative weekend. And as always, please like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section below, because it does matter and it's much appreciated. And hit the bell to be notified for when I post a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.